Tonight we embark on a journey that I pray that neither my players nor anyone must ever endure. But alas, tonight my players will. The rules of dread are simple. Survive by any means necessary. At points during the game, I will require that a player make a pull from the Tower of Dread. Succeed in your pull and your character's intentions will come to fruition. Refuse to pull and you will fail, which may or may not result in your death. Knock over the tower and you die. Knock over the tower by accident and I will decide your fate. However, someone can always knock over the tower on purpose, in which case, that player will decide their character's heroic or pitiful death. Thus begins our game of dread.
So, let's get all this started. But, here's a problem. That tower looks too perfect. This tower is supposed to represent your dread, everything that you're holding on your shoulders as you go through life. And that is too perfect. It needs a little bit of baggage. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one of you. You're going to tell us who you are as you make a pull. A preliminary pull. You knock over the tower, we'll rebuild it, and you'll make 2 pulls.
Character.
Yes, you're telling your character and making a pull. We'll start with you, BJ.
Alright. Go ahead and make a pull.
Yep, and tell us who you are at the same time.
My character's name is Charles Joseph Edward Elkhead IV.
And he prefers to be called
Joey. Because I don't expect you all to have to
Spit that out.
spit that out every time.
Anything else you want to share about Joey?
He used to go to a local private school. However, his parents have fallen on harder times. They are not able to afford that. They've gone down to the local public school, and he is very awkward, very shy, and does not really get along with his peers that well.
Okay, so you're the new kid in school,
Yeah,
pretty much.
He's a nervous little wreck.
Even though you're like right at the end of the school year right now.
Yeah.
And then, Lauren, make a pull. Tell us who you are.
Alright. My character's name is Jackie. It's short for Jacqueline. She lives with her single mom, who's very supportive of her daughter's dreams, but realizes that money is tight and it's probably not going to happen.
All right. And then our last one, Jess, make a pull. Tell us who you are.
My character is named Alexandria. Short. Alex for short. Oldest of 5. Very supportive, loving mother and father. 2 of the 5.
And if you want to get up and move around to get the block, you can.
Okay. I think I'm doing it
But
right.
you are doing it right. One-handed is the rule with a smaller tower.
Oh, didn't know that was
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. If
I
you're
always
using an
do that.
oversized tower, you can use 2 hands, but a smaller one
You must use your hands.
must use hands.
These fat
So
sausage
the youngest
fingers.
of the two.
No, 2. Let's see. I'm the oldest of 5. Out of those siblings, 2 of them are have been adopted into our family.
Okay.
The father's kind of always away on business trips, but again, they're both loving and supportive. Alex is kind of I wouldn't say like popular, but she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's
not
kind
disliked.
of motherly. She's not disliked. She's perhaps class president.
Okay.
And just kind of motherly to everybody. Kind of takes care of just everyone around her. Just kind of a character trait, almost habit. She's been into through being the oldest of 5 children and all that.
Okay. So we're going to start this on the bus on the way
Alright.
down. Now, you two already know each other. Just you've been in school at least a year together at this point.
Right.
And you've met the new kid, and you seem to be the only people in the world who are going to accept him right now. So, you guys are all on the bus right now. The turnout for this field trip was not nearly as much as what you thought it would be. This is an end-of-the-year field trip that kids and parents opted into. It's after school has already ended. It's in the summer now. And you had to opt into it to go, and most of your classmates opted out. So, it's you, 3, and maybe like 7 others around that, and your teacher, Mr. Williamson, who's your history teacher. Now, he's bringing you here for a little bit of a history lesson, kind of, but also just a camp, because it's just kind of a celebration for the end of the year sort of thing.
Do we have a picture of him?
I do not have a picture of him.
Okay.
But I can describe him.
Okay.
It's just kind of like slick back, jet black hair. Kind of like those 90s oversized glasses that you would remember from the past, even though we're in modern times right now. Big bushy mustache, too. I never said he was pretty.
You probably did have a teacher looking like him at some point.
I did not.
But you 3 seem to be the only ones on the bus who are even willing to sit next to each other. The others are just off on their own. It seems like their parents have forced them to go on this. They didn't even want to come. Now, did any of you all want to come? Was it by choice or were you forced?
Definitely by choice.
Yeah.
Parents thought it'd be a good idea.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of, a little
Really
bit
my only
forced.
chance to go camping.
Okay. So, as you're riding down, Mr. Williamson gets up and he tells you, this isn't as big of a turnout as I was hoping for, but we're going to make the best out of a situation. I have a very special history lesson for you all planned, and it's about something that I'm pretty sure none of you have even heard of before. Even you, Jackie. You've never heard of this. This is going to be exciting.
Really?
So yes. You guys are booking it down the road. The wheels go round and round on the bus. And you eventually come up on a dirt path through the woods. And the woods is looking beautiful. You probably hate it. You probably hate everything, but the trees are green, and it's just one of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen. Huge flowers, and off in the distance you can even see a little family of deer hopping off. But then you come up to a large gate, probably about 20 feet tall, and this gate is a gate of interconnecting crosses, where there's a big one, and then there's smaller crosses that fill up the gaps. Just a huge gate that goes as far as you can see, interconnecting crosses. And there's an opening for you to get through. The bus stops, lets you all off, and Mr. Williamson leads you through, creaks open the gate. leads you through the woods. What are you all thinking at this point? Now, you should know, you've been in the woods on the bus, and it has been beautiful, immaculate. The instant you step into this gate, everything is dead.
What was the teacher's name again?
Mr. Williamson.
Mr. Williamson, where exactly are you taking us?
We are going camping in a place called this was called the Garden of Peace. It was erected during the Civil War. We'll get more into that later on, once we get around the campfire.
Doesn't really look like peace anymore, but okay.
Yes, there's a reason for that. We'll
Right.
get into that. So, anyone else? What are you thinking?
Was it not because of the war?
Are you asking Mr. Williamson that? That has something to do with it, yes. Oh, what about Joey?
He's pouring out his bug spray.
Strangely enough, outside there was bugs aplenty. Nothing inside the gate.
He still put enough heat on him to question his health later on.
Okay.
Ugh. Dude, that smells.
Alright, so you guys are going to continue on and on. And you walk for a good while going through these woods, just taking in the sights. The woods are very, very dense. Hard, like you can't even see where you came from anymore. There's no path that you're walking along. You're just following the teacher. And eventually, he settles down in a place. A little clearing, probably about the size of the room we're in right now. Maybe a little smaller than the actual room. But a very small clearing, just big enough for you and your classmates and the teacher. And you all are free to do what you want at the campsite for right now.
I'm gonna go set up my tent so I have a place to store everything.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm trying to set up my new tent.
Do you want to ask for help?
There's somebody... How does this work?
Mr. Williamson will come over and he'll be like, I'll take care of this.
We'll help you.
And he'll help you put up your tent, no problem. Anything you're doing?
Putting up my tent.
Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to do? Look around or anything?
Yeah, after I store my stuff in my tent and just kind of wander around the clearing.
We're chatting and wandering around.
Yeah.
Well, what are you guys chatting about?
So what do you think about this place so far?
I think it's gonna be peaceful.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting an odd vibe about it or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to learn here.
Hmm.
I think there's a lot to learn here.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot to learn. It's just, I mean, you saw the vegetation, like everything before we came in, and now look at it.
Did you come on here wondering, hoping for some kind of Blair Witch project?
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm not that stupid. Some of the other kids might
Love
though.
ya.
Now, the time right now is probably about 6 or 7 p.m. It's getting late.
Alright.
Sun's going down at this point. You guys want to cook up any food? Or Mr. Williamson got the fire running.
Awesome. Mr. Williamson, what'd you bring for us to eat?
It's some stuff that the cafeteria, it's cafeteria food. I know you probably, but that's all we got.
I brought snacks.
So that you guys like chicken patties, we got some chicken patties. I did petition the principal to let us bring some more traditional camping stuff, so we have some hot dogs and some marshmallows too,
I
if you
would
want that.
definitely prefer a hot dog.
Okay.
I got s'mores.
I'm good on the mystery meat from school.
All right. Well, everything's on the table if you want it.
Alright. We'll go over to get a hot dog and get it
Okay.
ready.
All right. Now, as you're all doing your own thing, Mr. Williamson seems calm, but there's something else below the surface that he's not telling you all. There's a reason he brought you here, but you don't know why. And maybe it could just be, he just wanted a really cool history lesson. Who knows? But only time will tell. Is there anything else you guys would like to do?
Mr. Williamson, where did you find this place?
My dad brought me here a long time ago.
When you were our age or
Yes.
younger?
I was a little younger than you were. But he brought me here and I found it very fascinating, and I figured it would be a nice experiment to see how you guys thought it was. You know, there's some history here that not a lot of people know.
Well played. Can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
Why did he bring you here?
He thought it was beautiful.
That it is.
Yeah.
Well, you seem very curious to know why I brought you all here, and the history lesson that I have planned. Would everyone like to gather around the fire?
Sure.
All right.
Love to get started.
Let's do this.
So
I'm trying to find a clean log.
every one of the they're all logs just dirtied up, pulled in from the dead trees. The only way you're gonna get them clean is if you're wiping them down with
Oh,
something.
so you have
Shall we
white
just
bees or
sit
something?
down?
Don't you?
It's not gonna hurt you to get a little dirty.
Well,
It's alright.
our story with the Garden of Peace starts with an old man. His name was Waylon Pierce. He was around in the 1800s, and he came here to a place where nobody else was to build the Garden of Peace. Because the Civil War was raging on at this point. He was tired of the conflict, and he came here to build a place of peace and virtue, and a place where he would feel closer to God. That hence the crosses we saw as we came in. Now, as you can see, things didn't always stay peaceful. When he built this garden, it was lavish, like it was outside. Flowers as far as you could see. These trees weren't even here.
Wow.
And you all know, just based off of looking at the trees and how many they are and how overgrown they are, that it is impossible that they would have grown that fast in between the Civil War and now. They are huge. But he'll continue on and say, you know, the last bit of this is honestly a little bit underwhelming. It's something nobody knows. And I've come here a few times to try to figure it out myself. No history book says this at all. But the Garden of Peace fell when the Union and the Confederacy converged here. And it's presumed that Waylon died during that as well. And ever since then, this garden just hasn't been the same. It's been dead ever since. And whenever you try to find the survivors of, they called it the Lost Battle of the Garden of Peace. And whenever you try to talk to the survivors and ask them what happened, they would refuse to tell you. They would not say anything. Now, the Civil War soldiers, they were very open to talk about what they would have to do. But with the Lost Battle, no. They refused to say anything. As a matter of fact, there's a graveyard in the garden meant to memorialize the soldiers that were lost that day. There were hundreds lost on both sides, but there was no victor. Nobody claimed this place after Waylon died.
Wow.
Yes.
Do we get to go?
Tomorrow, yes. It's late, and it'd be difficult to travel at night.
Fair enough. So this guy, he made a spiritual connection with this garden?
Well, yes, this was basically his own church to God. He felt,
He literally made a spiritual.
yeah, he felt very close to his religion, and that, he was coming to the end of his life. This was his last hope of connecting with God finally, and trying. Honestly, he probably was trying to stop the war. It was one of the most, it was one of the most bloody wars in American history. And he just wanted everything to stop. And in this garden, for the time being, until they showed up, it stopped. It was as if time stopped here. Anyone else have any questions?
Is there a bathroom near here?
Joey,
It's called the trees.
Joey, you're gonna have to use the trees. We don't have any bathrooms around here. You orange? He'll pull out some toilet paper and hand it to you. Here's some toilet paper if you need it, but you'll have to go behind a tree.
Did
He just kind of sits there for. I can hold it for now.
Okay. Yes.
did Waylon have any like surviving relatives or anything like that might have talked about the place or known about it?
If he did, all we've been able to find about Waylon shows that he was here alone. You know, all this land was his. He claimed it as no one else had it, and it was his. He lived here alone.
Okay.
Is anyone living here now? Around the area?
No. We are the only ones in here, as far as I know.
That's reassuring.
Any other questions? Or would anyone like to tell a scary story around the fire?
Oh.
Joseph, you have any? I'm just playing with you.
Oh, do you have any that you tell your siblings?
Just your basics. Hookman. Bloody Mary.
That one's always fun.
Yeah. Good times.
Any you're wanting to tell? Everyone loves a good ghost story before bed.
Absolutely. None are coming to mind. Besides the basics.
Well, tell one of those. Maybe someone here hasn't heard it yet. Joey looks like he hasn't heard any of them.
Okay. Hear the one about the Viper?
I have not.
No.
Okay. There was a babysitter at this family's house. Kids have the parents had been long gone. The two babies were asleep. All of a sudden, the phone rings. The babysitter picks up the phone. And she says, hello. Not expecting anyone's call. The parents had just called. So she was kind of... It was weird. And this other voice came through the phone and said, I'm the Viper. And she was like, is this a prank? Is this, what's going on here? Hung up the phone. That happens a couple more times, and all of a sudden she gets creeped out. She goes and closes make sure everything's locked. And there's a knock on the door. With a little man, yay high, with a wash bucket and a wiper, a window wiper, and he goes, I'm the Viper. I wish to wish and wipe the windows.
And Mr. Williamson is just going to very cheesily give a very large grin and just go, bravo, bravo.
Well, thank you.
Now is everyone ready for bed?
Sure.
We'll begin our adventures tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Everyone will go to their tent, and you're gonna lay down, have a nice little nap. What are you dreaming about?
Oh, I pulled my tablet out and just kind of...
Oh, so you're still awake?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you asleep?
Yeah, I was gonna try to read my book a little bit, but it's kind of hard to hold a flashlight and turn a page, so...
So if you're sleeping, what you dreaming about?
Dreaming about the forest and wildlife running through it.
So basically the opposite of what you're in right now.
Yes.
Are you asleep?
I'm asleep.
What you dreaming about?
More of the possibilities of what could be in this place, and an exciting adventure is coming up, and maybe every now and again thinking about friends and family, but kind of weave in and out of different things. You know how dreams go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in the middle of the night.
I have to put the tablet away.
So we're probably about 2 or 3 in the morning at this point. Are you asleep now?
Yes.
Okay. You get woken up.
Alright.
You hear Mr. Williamson come over. Jack.
Mr. Williams?
Come on. Come here.
What? I grab my flashlight and my shoes. Okay, hang on. Open up the tent.
He's going to gesture for you to come out of the campsite.
Okay. I have my flashlight with me.
You're going to follow?
Yes.
So he's going to get you away from all the other tents so that
Okay.
they can't hear what he's about to tell you. And what he's going to say is that I haven't been 100% truthful with all of you. And you're the best student I've had here. You're the only one that I can think can understand why we're here. And I need your help in figuring out how to tell the others. I didn't clear this field trip with the school. I told them that we were going somewhere else. I didn't tell them that we would come here. I told you that my dad brought me here when I was little. I wasn't 100% truthful with that. My dad did bring me here. But he brought me here because this was the last place that anyone knew of where he went. And I came here looking for him when I got older. I'm here looking for him now, and I feel like I can't do anything without help. I need all of your help to help me find my dad or find something to show what happened to him, because he's probably gone. But I just want to know where he's at.
So you lied to the school and to us to look for your dad.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Everything that I've told you about this place is true, though. It is historic, but I need closure. Can you help me with that, Jack?
I don't really have a choice, so I guess.
You do have a choice. It's up to you. But you're the only one that I could think would understand.
Okay, I mean, I know what it's like to not know what's going to happen to your dad, so I guess I can try.
Thank you. When everyone's up in the morning, I'll try and clear the air with them, and I'll need your help to get them on our side, okay?
Okay.
So you're gonna head back to your tent?
Yeah.
As you're heading back to your tent, you notice that Mr. Williamson never went into his tent. He's still wearing the same clothes. He was wearing a dress shirt earlier. He's still wearing that. It's not sleeping clothes whatsoever. And he's just been sitting around the fire, keeping it lit. Just sitting there.
Mr. Williams, why haven't you gone to sleep yet?
I'm a little on edge for trying to find evidence. I'll try to get some sleep here soon.
Alright. Well, good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A few hours later, you all hear something, all of you. Little bit of a struggle going on. No screams, but just.
Yeah, I think I'll just stay right here.
Are you all staying in your tents?
Weirded out enough as it is.
Jax, is that you?
That was not me.
I rush around,
Joseph?
hold on to my flashlight. I am scared to.
As you're holding on to your flashlight, a silhouette goes across your tent.
It's not, light's not on. It's just I'm holding on to it.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the sun is starting to come up, so there's going to be a shadow getting cast across your tent. And you see something you didn't expect to see. It's the best way you can describe it just based off the shadow is it's got a long torso. And the head, you can see the head up there. Kind of looks human. But then again, it kind of looks more to you like a spider. What do you do?
I pull my little survival guide up my tablet, start looking at animals.
And as you're looking at your tablet, you notice your battery's draining a hell of a lot faster than it usually does. Now this thing is coming closer, whatever it is. What are you gonna do?
I fumble around trying to find my little external battery.
You're fumbling around, you could be making some noise, Joey. Make a
Prob-
pull.
I was expecting a scream or something.
This thing's too quick.
I was ready for him to. He can go to the bathroom earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, no, he's floating right now.
Okay. Alright, you managed to fumble around. You got your external battery out. You pop it in. Managed to make 0 noise. And this thing comes up to your tent. And it moves away. You all don't get a good look at this silhouette. You have no idea what it is. All you know is you heard. You don't know what happened to all the others.
Mm-hmm.
But you see this thing move away, and you notice what it does. When it does move away, it turns its head really fast and then scurries off. What are you going to do? Any of you?
Have I found anything in my little book that would even begin to come close to it?
Nope.
Man. Okay.
Has it scurried off?
I mean, if you're just looking up spiders, you're going to find a bunch of information about spiders.
It's just survival guide. Yeah, it's not.
Okay. Well, you're not gonna find anything that's gonna help you with this thing.
No.
Has it scurried away?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm clutching my flashlight because it's rather large and kind of unzipping my tent to look out and kind of.
You
check.
see, your camp has been ransacked. Every tent, your classmates, your teacher, is destroyed. But you know Mr. Williamson was staying up. Maybe he wasn't in his tent, but he's not around.
Alex?
Yeah. What you got?
Joey? You might want to look at this.
I grab my backpack, and I'd been unzipping the tent, ready to like either go investigate or depending on the situation, run or
Yeah.
go get someone, or I don't know what I think.
As you unzip it, you notice the same thing. The entire camp has been ransacked. Everything torn to shreds except for your tents. You don't know why.
What happened here?
I don't know.
I'm assuming we were the only 3 students, Mr. Williamson.
That are alive.
No, there
That
were
we
there
know
were
of.
other students. They are now gone too.
Okay.
Oh hey, this just did get interesting.
Yeah.
And as you say that to her, it rings in your head that she mentioned Blair Witch earlier.
You remember the whole Blair Witch crap you mentioned?
Yeah.
Oh, this is, looks kind of similar, doesn't it?
It's looking that way.
Yeah, I did not want this.
It's alright.
I
Joey
don't-
doesn't use bathroom anymore.
Well, what are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna go back in my tent and actually get dressed and out of my PJs.
Do you all want to find your classmates? Because there's no blood. They're just gone. Their tents are destroyed. Their belongings crushed.
Well, yeah.
We can kind of look around and see if we see any.
You've seen that shadow though. And as you're stepping out and looking out at the distance, trying to find any semblance of your classmates or Mr. Williamson, you see that spider. Way off in the distance. You have to be at the perfect angle just to look through these trees. And it is just scurrying as fast as it can through the woods.
It's the PPGBs you just saying, right?
Alex, I can't remember your other name. Jackie.
So,
Something I saw shadows that was there.
And from your vantage point, you can't see this shadow. You can see like little, what may be, are you going to tell them that you've seen a spider?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
spiderish.
You can see little tips of spider legs going through, but you can't see the full form.
Uh-huh.
But what you do see is Mr. Williamson running away.
Mr. Williamson is running that way.
let's go that way.
Uh-huh.
So you all are going to head towards Mr. Williamson.
Yeah, I've
Into the woods?
taken my backpack and stowed flashlight, bottled water, sunscreen, repellent, camera, and matches with me.
Okay. So you all are taking
So
everything.
you
in.
did bring matches?
Not every. Yes, I brought matches. We're camping.
Dang you, rebel.
So you all are following Mr.
Yeah, I'm just
Williamson.
taking what I have to have. I'm leaving my clothes. I'm leaving the
Yeah.
tent and everything else. So just in case.
Are those allowed?
I don't know.
Well, heck, I brought a pocket knife and some matches too.
The tent and sleeping bag will probably won't stick around.
Yeah.
But
He
everything else
told
is
me
still in the
he would veto
backpacks.
anything we couldn't bring.
So there you
Thanks.
you all pack up and you're about to head off in the direction you saw Mr. Williamson go.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie,
Yes.
Yeah.
make a pull to remember which direction he was going and to stay course
Okay.
on the way.
You packed this thing tight, didn't you?
I did not, but
Yes, you did.
I used a constructor thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it tight.
There we go.
All right, and you manage to find your direction.
All right.
You don't see Mr. Williamson anymore. He's gotten away. You don't see the spider either. But off in the distance, you hear a very faint and echoey, the same noise you had heard before. Off in the distance, though. Nowhere close to you. Now, you all are running through the forest. Are you walking? Which one?
Walking quickly. Try to catch up.
Walking at a pretty brisk pace.
Yeah, I'm not sprinting towards
Okay.
this thing.
So you all are
Well,
making
we're trying
good
to
headway.
catch up with our teacher, who we saw run in the woods.
How's Joey feeling?
He's not liking going into the woods off the path, and he's looking around constantly.
Joey, there is no
Fol-
path.
Following them. Oh, I'm assuming this thing is making a path given its size.
Well
The
then,
path we're going on.
actually no.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
Every now and again you see little pinpoints, but that's about it.
How big are these pinpoints?
Probably about that big.
Okay.
So, but
Good man size.
make a pull to maintain your composure in the woods.
Yeah.
This place is everything you've ever feared it to be. You've never wanted to be in the woods, and as you're running or briskly walking towards your lost teacher, you think, damn my parents for making me come here. I never wanted to do this, never wanted to do this, never wanted to do this, but you managed to block that out of your head.
You're gonna live in a bubble after this, aren't you, Joey?
But you're here,
So
and that's
what'd you
what's
But
important.
you're gonna want to live in a bubble after this.
You're very brave. For
But eventually, you all come to another clearing. And there's no sign of this thing that you saw anywhere. But there's this little tiny fence, just a fence, no interconnecting crosses this time, but probably about 4 feet tall of a fence with a gate as well. And inside is hundreds of unmarked Civil War graves. And I have a map. Every dash on there is a dead Civil War.
Unmarked as in there's no tombstones?
They have their tombstones unmarked with no name.
Okay.
Now, when you look off to the left of the gate,
Mhm.
you notice that there's a memorial put up there of every name of the people who are presumed to have been lost during the Lost Battle.
Jackson, this is the graveyard.
that he was talking about.
Yeah, I think this is the one that you mentioned.
And funnily enough, when you look over, you notice Mr. Williamson at the grave of Waylon Pierce. But before you say anything to him, you notice something on the gate.
On the gate?
On the gate.
On the gate.
This is hanging on the gate. Does anyone want to take it?
Yeah.
Make a pull.
Oh, good.
So to say if you don't, I will.
This thing's hanging right there, right where you need to open the gate, and it's just tantalizing you. Maybe it has some clue as to the thing that's been chasing you that may have taken out your classmates. You see Mr. Williamson, he's fine. Or did he put this here? And why? The only way you'll be able to tell is if you take it off and look at it. Or you can abandon your pole if you wish. And I will tell you, if you do abandon it, nothing bad will happen this time. So close. Calling you in close.
Shut up.
And you grab it.
What does it say?
Oh, it's so cute.
What does it say?
Do you want to take it apart?
Yes, yes. I want her to take it apart.
Give me a second. Doesn't say anything. It has a number 4 in a circle.
Is it a number 4? You don't know which direction it goes.
Okay, fair enough. It's some kind of symbol.
Yeah. Can I see?
And as you all are looking at this little scroll that you found on the gate, you can faintly hear Mr. Williamson over there just in
You hold on
a babble, just talking to himself and raking at Waylon's grave with his hands. He doesn't have anything to dig up this grave, but he's digging as far as he can with his hands.
Mr. Williamson?
You're a bit too far away from him right now.
That's,
I'd go to the teacher.
And what are you going to say to him?
Where's the spider thing? Where'd it go?
And he'll turn around and be like, "You! God damn it, it's all you fucking kids. All of you.
I thought.
You did this shit!" Make a pull. Mr. Williamson is coming at you with his hands around your throat. And you know now that this situation is either kill or be killed.
What is happening?
What do you all do? You manage to throw Mr. Williamson off of you in a random fit of having strength for once in your life, and you tossed him off, but he gets back up and he's going for you.
I grab my flashlight and start swinging at his head.
Make a pull. This teacher is your favorite teacher.
Yeah, but he's also tried to just kill someone and is coming after me.
So you bash him over the head and he falls to the ground.
Anybody got any rope or something?
What the crap, man?
He's-
What just happened?
I don't know. Do you have any rope?
Yes.
He's now knocked out. But
In my bag.
again, through your head, you all know this is kill or be killed. You can tie him up if you want, but if he gets out, he will kill you. What do you do? He's knocked out, he's prone.
I have a pocket knife.
You really want to kill a teacher?
He just tried to kill you.
And I bashed his head with a flashlight to
I
knock
know.
him out.
Okay, good point. Yeah, and no one should. No. You're right. Okay.
Why don't we tie him up and see if we can get some answers? Like, tie him to the fence?
Yeah, I have some rope in my backpack. Will you get it for me?
Yeah, sure.
So you all are going to tie him to the fence?
Yes.
Okay. As you're tying him, however, you notice something in his pocket. Let me make sure this is the right thing. Yep. Who's tying him?
I guess I am.
Okay. Since he's knocked out, I'm not going to make you make a pull.
Okay.
You find this. This was burnt. This was a much bigger map at one point, but around the edges it's all burnt. And you see scribblings of a madman on there.
Wait, where did we get that?
Out of his pocket?
Out of his pocket. What is it?
Things like find dad, what the fuck happened to these fucking kids, Waylon, demon, ghost,
So apparently he doesn't like us
spiders.
as much as we liked him.
That symbol that you found is on it as well,
Interesting.
and there's a cross symbol down here.
Go back to the find dad thing.
It says dad, find dad. Yeah.
Is that what he was doing?
You never
Yeah?
told them what he was here for. Do you want to tell them now?
Yeah. So
You better.
really early, like before this thing, showed up in our camp, Mr. Williamson pulled me aside and said that he lied to the school. We weren't supposed to come here. We were supposed to go somewhere else. He brought us here to try to help him find his dad. And for some reason, he thought I'd be able to help everyone believe him.
I don't feel quite as bad about my...
Idea of killing him.
Yeah.
I want to find out what he knows first, at least. It says something about maybe Waylon's cabin would have the key.
Where's the others?
That's why we tie him up, see if he knows.
Okay.
So
Now,
what
do
do
you
you
want
think?
to try to understand that even more clearly?
Sure.
Make a poll.
Okay.
Starting to think that he was what we heard last night.
Ha. Ooh. And,
When did he tell you this?
like, I don't have a watch, but it was before dawn.
Now, as you've looked at this map, you realize that this Whaling guy
Mm-hmm.
that he scribbled on the map about, and that he told you about around the campfire, he had to have had some place to live.
Right.
And on there it says Whalen's cabin could be the key.
Yeah.
There's a marking on there that signifies a house,
Right there.
as opposed to where the cross is. And where would you find a cross? In a
Gate.
3 crosses.
graveyard, where you are right
Yeah.
now. So you are there.
So if we go this way, we might find his cabin.
Yes, but you currently have a tied up Mr. Williamson
That we
waiting
wanna
for him
get-
to come back to
Yeah.
you.
Answered out of.
Yes.
Yeah.
On my little GPS, I want to know where we are.
You
Have a
no signal.
GPS? Cheater.
Signal is dead here, as everything else is. But that map tells you where you need to go next.
Yeah.
I have a compass.
That you do.
Does it work?
My
Yes.
GPS is a compass.
Sometimes it doesn't, right now it is. Every now and again you see it just kind of spin wildly, but then eventually it'll go back to just
It's
being
my compass. Of course it works.
You had there was a freaking spider thing.
That dug in my backpack and decided to
No!
make the compass not work.
No, but if something like that's here, you really think something as mundane as a compass is gonna work?
Yeah, alright.
It is working right now though.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we can either wait and see what he has to say,
I'm gonna fall my little
kill
pockets
him
in
and
my
then
head.
head on,
Okay.
or
I had
abandon
the
him.
We're not gonna
the
kill him.
blade
Well, then we could abandon him.
on it.
Okay. So you all are you waiting for Mr. Williamson to wake up?
Yes.
Okay. Eventually, it only takes about 5 more minutes for him to wake up.
Yeah, I didn't hit him that hard.
Yeah. So he eventually wakes up and just kind of blinks and looks around.
Mhm.
What do you want to ask him?
Are you with us?
What is going on here?
What the heck is going on?
Where are the others?
Who
Fuck if
are
I know.
you?
Fuck if I know.
You're the one that brought us here.
Yeah, I did until that fucking thing came.
Also,
What
give me
is it?
paper.
I don't know. I don't know.
Also, what
What it
about,
is.
do you recognize this?
Of course I recognize that, and you're holding it upside down. Yes, I recognize that. I wrote on that. I was trying to find Waylon's cabin.
Uh-huh.
Hey, but
It sounds like you're trying to find your dad and that you don't like us as much as probably we
well,
liked you
yeah. Look at what the fuck happened.
before 5 minutes ago.
And you think that was our fault?
Of course it was.
How?
I just know. I just know. And-
You're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna fucking rip all your heads off.
You're not getting out of here.
Yeah, no, you're not.
So what are you gonna do?
Pocket knife.
You go right ahead.
Make a pull. You're shakily going up to your teacher as he's bound, and you're trying to stab at his heart to end his life of madness that he's clearly
Come to?
come to, yes. Yeah, just last night he was perfectly fine, but this morning,
Apparently he wasn't.
Yeah.
now that this thing was chasing him, no longer is he okay. And you end his miserable life. You slowly let the knife into his heart as you hear a little and his heart stops and his eyes roll back. Strangely enough, he looks
I'm
at
gonna
you
need
and
therapy after this.
he looks at you and says, "Thank you." and then dies.
I'm gonna check his pockets. Make sure
What,
there's
what'd you
nothing
do?
else.
I have my little knife.
You
He
check
just said he was gonna try to kill us.
I saved us.
You
Did they
check.
teach you?
No.
Man, this
I'm
kind of shit.
just as shook up as you are, I'm sure.
You are very distraught at this. This is apparently the way public schools work in Europe.
So yeah, I check his pockets to see if there's.
all that was in there was that map.
Okay.
All the stories they told us were true. They do knife each other. Without mercy.
Yeah.
Now, you do remember
It's not Lord of the Flies here. Chill
amidst,
out.
amidst Mr. Williamson's babbling, digging at Waylon's grave, you remember him saying something about the body not being there. But,
Okay.
and when you look into the grave, Mr. Williamson has dug far enough down he should have found a body.
Yeah.
Strictly with his hands. And there is nothing there.
This is creepy. So.
What kind of shape are his hands in, by the way?
His hands,
Uh-huh.
they're just like normal hands. Maybe a little roughed up from the digging, but
No lost fingernails or anything.
I mean, he may have peeled back a couple of nails, but not really any, not any monstrous defects, if that's what you're looking
Okay.
for.
Ground's loose.
Nothing bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, he really wasn't caring that much.
Yeah. So there's no body in this grave.
Why was he digging
Apparently something about the body not being in the grave. I don't know. He was rambling.
Well, we can't ask him now.
I don't think he would have told us anyway. So should we try to find this cabin and maybe?
You do have the map.
I don't
That's the
know.
only other location you know. You're too far in
Yes.
to know where to go to leave.
Yeah, I don't even remember where the gate was. So
You don't remember how to get back?
no,
Campsite?
no. Well, maybe to
We're
the
lost?
maybe to the campsite, but certainly not the gate.
it? Will the map tell us anything?
But the map tells us how to get to Waylon's cabin.
Are
I'm
you
just a
all
little distressed that we're lost in the woods.
Yeah,
are you all about to head to Waylon's cabin?
might as well. And that's a compass that works.
As soon the compass is still working,
Uh-huh.
though for a split second it spins, and at that moment, make a pull. Something has entered your mind, and now you view yourself in this exact situation, everything that you've ever hated. It's nighttime, you're in the woods, and you are surrounded by wolves who are ready to devour you.
It's nighttime.
But you block it out, and you come back to reality.
Oh, animals.
What animals? There's nothing here.
We're surrounded by them here in the woods.
You've come back to, you know that this is not a real thing anymore. Jackie,
Uh-huh.
the compass spins, make a pull. Something has now entered your mind, and you find yourself in a place, you're in a fun house surrounded by mirrors all around you, and in them you hear little dolls staring at you going, but you block that out as well. You shatter the mirrors, and you come back to reality.
That was fucked up.
And lastly, Alex, the compass spins and make a pull. Something has now entered your mind, and now you stand in a desert with your friends laying before you dead. And off in the distance you see a skeletal man in a hood, just staring at you, coming ever closer. You blink your eyes and he pops forward a bit more, ready to take you away. You failed your friends. They're dead. Because you couldn't save them, they're dead. And now it's your turn.
Nope.
But you tell them to fuck off. And you come back to reality.
I don't cuss, but I go.
Yeah.
That's reading.
And now, do you all want to discuss what just happened to you?
What was that? Did anyone else?
In the distance, you hear,
See a little bit of a nightmare.
it's really far though. It's
Mhm.
really far.
Is it the direction we was planning on going?
No.
Yeah, it was like a walking nightmare.
Well, we're here now, so.
Yeah. Let's get to the cabin.
Alright, you all head to the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Things go pretty uneventfully. You do hear noises like what you've been hearing, but you hear a new one now, off in the distance. It's more guttural. It's more consistent as well. So you hear it echo just.
Shit.
Oh, good, another one. Yay.
I don't think that's the same thing.
But it echoes. You know you're far enough away from it.